which kind of content creators perform better for you, what angles, what hooks. And from there, you can start pumping out content that is relevant and scheduling them to post on, the specific times that perform better for you. How we specifically do it as an agency, because we obviously work with so many different clients from so many different industries. So the way that we do it is, and I don't know, I guess people can use it in their own ways, for their own brands, but we just definitely need to start out with a creative brief. That is the one single most important thing. And this is something that brands can do directly on the TikTok creator marketplace, like I mentioned before. So, fill.
Yo, what is up? This is Christian D. Evans, host of Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast. And I just want to share with you real quick, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It really means a lot to us, but also our community. And, if you like this, please share this with your friend, your family, a colleague, someone that you don't even like. Definitely share that with them. And then also leave a comment and a review for us. We really do appreciate that. And show our guests some love if you find that this episode really resonates with you. Secondly, also want to share with you some really awesome news. I've had the Fortune Opportunity Network and have incredible guests, 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders on our podcast. And what we've done is we've actually been able to open up a Be Uncommon, if you can, mastermind, where we're able to open up the door for so many of you, right? Those that are 6-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs that are scaling, that are struggling, that really want to level up their game, their business, their life, whatever it is. I'm able to open up that door for you with this Be Uncommon If You Can mastermind. Now, we're only taking a select few of individuals. So what you'll need to do is go to christiandeevans.com/mastermind now. And the link is actually in the description as well. Guys, that is christiandeevans.com/mastermind now. We're only opening this up for a select few of individuals that really want to level up their game. You have a conversation with me, see if you qualify. And guys, enjoy the episode. And remember, be uncommon if you can. Cheers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast. I'm your host, Christian D. Evans, and we have a TikTok expert, digital marketer, strategist, and e-com impressive individual on today. And I'm so excited to be diving into some really, really good topics. We're going to be diving in, obviously, what the heck is TikTok, how in the world to leverage it, and really diving in and really scaling your business, leveraging that platform. But she has incredible, immense knowledge. Let me just share with you. So she has an experience in e-com, affiliate marketing, subscription-based products. Her career in online marketing began at a company that was a Montreal-based affiliate network, where she grew into a managerial role as a network director. Now, because of her massive accomplishments there, she had a discovery and she had incredible strategy, marketing breakthroughs and trends, as well as personable communication skills and risk-taking attitude gave her the skills to help launch Mediaburn, a performance-based agency specializing in e-commerce, lead generation, influencer matchup, and so much more. Please welcome the owner, the co-founder, and CEO of Kitschy and UGC Shop, Tracy Atieh. How are you doing today, Tracy?
Hi, I'm doing super well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very excited because we're going to be diving into a lot of good stuff, and obviously you have immense knowledge on it. But before I want to dive into, obviously we see TikTok, so people see it, they've heard about it, and I think you brought something really valuable up, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about this. Obviously, what are you seeing in the industry? So many times it's known as, oh, it's young, I don't really see value, my ideal client's not on there. However, overcome that objection for me, if you will. What are you seeing in the platform? And as well as more and more individuals are getting on that platform and it's becoming more prevalent in today's world. So I'd like for you to kind of walk me through that thought process.
Sure. I think originally people thought that TikTok was made up of a younger audience, because it actually was made up of a younger audience. You can see most of the content was like dancing, some challenges, and some fun content that, is just extremely entertaining, but also super quick. It's for people who have pretty much a very short attention span. But I think because of the pandemic, and I definitely think there's also a big advertiser role, but we can get into this a bit later on. But I think because of the pandemic and people spending so much time on their phones, and kind of, I guess they just got bored of recycling some of the, Instagram and Facebook content. Then TikTok came in the picture, and I think they also started recycling some of the TikToks as Instagram Reels. And that's when people started getting used to that kind of style. I think before, people, especially when it came to content, and ads, people were looking for specific kind of content. Let's say when it came to unboxing videos, they just really wanted to see the process of receiving the package to your house, how to open it, what the product looks like, or maybe product reviews that are a bit lengthier and people get into a bit more detail about their experience. But I think because of so much content that people were subjected to and their shorter attention spans, I think TikTok became a bit more prevalent because it gives you all this kind of information, but within 20 to 30 seconds. So you're saying what the product looks like, how you use it, your experience with it, and just really even compare these brands compared to the others, and in just a quick 20 to 30 seconds, and it just does all the convincing for you. So I think that's what really attracted a more mature audience. By mature, I mean even millennials, and yeah, and then got them a bit more used to seeing this kind of content and engaging with it.
Well, you brought something up very interesting I want to kind of touch on. So you're seeing Facebook and Instagram, the algorithms, the organic reach for a lot of influencers, it's struggling. And naturally, that means profit and revenue decrease as well, right? Because now you don't have as much engagement. And definitely, like you said, the iOS updates, and obviously just the hot water Facebook has been under for quite a while, definitely regulatory. What are you seeing in regards to, how TikTok becomes a very massive competitor in that space, and obviously pivoting more toward and seeing a lot of businesses from all different, B2C, B2B, not just e-com, but different other industries that are really leveraging TikTok to the highest level. What does that look like for you?
I think that advertisers, including ourselves, got a bit frustrated at some point because of Facebook, spending thousands of dollars every month, some brands spending millions of dollars every month to run all these ads. And really, like these brands and services, they're basing their entire business on this platform, right? And then from one day to the other, the algorithm changes, iOS updates, and then you have as an advertiser to restart your entire strategy, start from scratch, learn everything from scratch, but you're also spending money to learn, right? So you're spending all this money to get to know this platform, test out new strategies, and then your return on investment is just not there. But I think the most important aspect of it, and I think that's why I think that is contributing to TikTok's success right now, is that it's easier for you to have direct communication with TikTok, right? I mean, like Facebook advertisers, even after years of working to them, it's rarely that you can have a Facebook rep to even have communication with. You get like an ad that is rejected, you have no idea why it's getting rejected, you can't even get in touch with them to understand why it's being rejected. So I think that wasted a lot of money for people. I think the frustration grew there, and then of course, like I said, the return on investment, I'm sure it's still profitable for a lot of people and a lot of brands. But I think to enter the market is just way more difficult right now than it was a few years ago. And I think this is what TikTok is providing right now. It's providing an opportunity for all these brands that are just starting out. It's less competitive, it's cheaper at the moment, and it gives you a way bigger reach, in my opinion and in my experience so far.
No, and yeah, we're seeing that tremendously just because of how the algorithm is. And obviously they're, as people are flooding more toward TikTok, naturally they're, definitely optimizing that, algorithm, definitely influencers. Now, my question though is I always think about, strategically, right? How does a company, because see, we could all push out, something that's irrelevant, honestly, about our brand and our content and what we really want, and then get to do a call to action, but it's not relative to, what we truly want, which is our desire of, hey, buy a service, buy a product, buy this, whatever, right? That's that call to action. So I look at it strategically. You want to build content that attracts those people, but also acknowledge that, okay, I want to create something that's unique and different that creates that organic reach. So naturally people engage with it. And there's a lot that goes into it, definitely on TikTok, because we see dancing videos are really big, random things that are just so crazy. But I'd like to get your experience. What have you found, maybe working e-com, or just this different strategies that you've been able to use that have, one, created the right engagement, and two, created the call to action that produced results? And I'm talking about like revenue.
For sure. I think the most important thing about TikToks is that you just need to be as authentic as possible. I think the communities on TikTok, easily identify what's a video ad and what's really just organic content on the platform. So it's really important for your content to kind of blend in the native platform that you're advertising in. So it's not really supposed to stand out. It's just supposed to look like a content that your friend posted or someone that you were following, right? So I think the most important concept on TikTok is authenticity. And it's really, as brands, I think you need to focus on essentially becoming part of this community, right? So let's say you're a beauty brand, then you need to enter the TikTok community that is called Beauty Talk, right? You need to go in there and you need to see what these beauty lovers are actually creating content for. And this is really what brands need to be focusing on. Instead of just going on and just creating original ideas for video ads, go on the community, see what they're doing, replicate these concepts. And that's what they also call co-creation. So you take on one of these concepts from these videos, and then they start co-creating content based on it. And this is how you see things are going viral. You see some of these audios that are trending online. You see some of, the funny challenges or any trends that you see, like duets, fun transitions, etc. So the most important thing is really to understand who the community is. And the only way to do it is by actually diving into that community, look at the content that they're doing, replicate the content that they're creating, and then just go on from there. Because once your brand's content is really just blending in the platform, that's when it can go viral. That's when people are going to reshare it, send it to their friends. And this is how your brand really gains awareness on a more organic level.
So I've seen individuals try to, make a challenge. Is it best to just, leverage a challenge that's already, taking a massive influx and organic? What does that look like?
I think it depends on the brand and it depends on the challenge, right? Sometimes it's amazing to just jump on a challenge that's happening and you can just ride the wave. And sometimes if you have something that you think has the potential of really getting people excited and getting people to actually do it, then go ahead. What's the harm in trying?
That makes sense. I really appreciate it. So now what are we seeing in regards to like the right call to action with like other influencers? What do you see in that?
In what terms? Can you clarify, please, what you mean?
Yeah, so like obviously you have a different product, right? And you want to leverage influencers and they have that organic reach, right?
Yeah.
Is it best to go out there and create the content yourself, or is it best to work with those influencers to push that that product or that service?
There are actually two ways of doing it. So the way that our agency works, we specifically focus on the content creation aspect, because we work mostly with brands and agencies who have, who are actively running ads. And these people just need content. So sometimes when it comes to influencer marketing as well, these brands are not really looking to drive traffic from these influencers. They're not looking to retarget these audiences. What they're specifically looking for is just the content themselves. So that's why they work with us. We make the content for them. We give them the user rights to that content, and then they can leverage this content and run all the ads that they want and drive their own internal traffic, right? So that's one way of doing it. Now, the other way of doing it, and something that brands can actually leverage, is the creator marketplace for TikTok. So the platform itself created a marketplace where you can go in there, you can create kind of, well, first of all, you need to register as a brand and be accepted. Once you have access to this platform, then TikTok gives you access to all the creators that are active on the platform itself and that are looking for job opportunities, for, to create campaigns, to push promotions, etc. So brands have the ability of going in as a brand on that creator marketplace, starting a project, setting up what they have in terms of budget, the campaign objective, and what the call to action is, and the specific deliverables that they're looking for with brand guidelines, etc. So people can go in there and then they can go through the marketplace and filter through the creators. You can filter through them based on their engagement rates, based on their follower numbers, based on their video views, and of course based on their interests and where they're located and the language, etc. So you can go in there, select the creators, and kind of shortlist them on your project, reach out to them through the platform itself, agree on a monetary compensation or whatever you want to bargain with them, and then that actually happens entirely through the platform. So then the creator also approves through the platform. They send you the content to approve through the platform. They accept accept it, and then, you know, they post it on their profile or just send you the content depending on what you want. So I think also TikTok is killing it in terms of that platform, because that just facilitates it so much for these brands. But of course, that's just one way of doing it. The service that we provide is essentially for everyone who doesn't want to do this, right? Lots of brands are too busy to actually deal with this, to go on and manually pick the creators, and they just don't, they want to avoid the back and forth and just expect, you know, content to be delivered to their mailbox once or twice every month. And these are the people that come to us versus people that can just go and access the TikTok creator marketplace and do it directly themselves.
I love that approach. And I think that's something that Facebook and Instagram never integrated. I know that there's third-party apps to be able to find those influencers. And I think that's interesting that they've just integrated that in their platform as TikTok. I think that's actually remarkable. I did not know that was even available. Is that a new feature within the last 9 months, or what is that?
Yeah, it is a relatively new feature, and they even have they even have on that same platform some of their top performing ads, kind of similar to the Facebook ad library. You just go in there and then you filter through top performing content based on the geo, based on the call to action too, you know, whether you're looking for installs, for views, for reach, etc. And then you can see some of the top performing content per niche and industry. So they're really like facilitating it for advertisers as well as content creators. There's really good communication. They're really like in touch and creating all these kind of like direct relationship with, you know, creative agencies, media buying agencies, creators directly. And I think because of this back and forth, that they are a bit more up to date with what everyone is looking for, how they can optimize their platform, and, you know, and that's why they're scaling at this rapid rate.
So right now with and I appreciate you sharing that, because I think that's just so awesome to see this, and definitely like massive growth. Now, when we're looking at like how to properly develop a game plan, okay, to produce the biggest result, right? I guess my question is, the TikTok algorithm, is it more optimizing for views, comments, likes, shares? What is it optimizing for? I know Facebook algorithm, it constantly changes. Instagram, I know LinkedIn as well. It's all different, you know, weights and points for each view, like. So what have you noticed?
The way that we do it, at least our clients are handling their own media buying at the moment, but basically because we're constantly optimizing our creatives, so we're always looking at that data together. So what I've noticed that my clients are doing right now is always focusing on the first thing that they're tracking is, of course, their viewed rates. So this is what they track initially until they can establish a more targeted audience. And this is when they switch the call to action for a sale or an app install or a lead submit. So I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, TikTok is all about the content, right? So it's all about that video. How much can you get people to watch the video? How much can you get them to engage in that video? And it's all about the audio, which we haven't tackled yet, but the audio is an extremely important aspect of TikTok. And I think it makes around 80% of the video.
Oh, what do you mean by that? Explain that.
So the audio, everything, all the content on TikTok is meant to be heard with sound on, right? Whether it's a voiceover, whether it's like the original, whether it's the audios that go viral, you know, the latest tracks that are on the top 5, top 10 in every country. There, for some reason, some specific sounds just go viral on that platform. Sometimes it's also like themes from sitcoms and, you know, random series, movies that are just going viral, you know, like the theme song for The Office, for example, that has gotten so trendy on the platform. So audios are something that are extremely important as well, but now it is getting a bit trickier as well. So many new advertisers are coming in on the platform, and before you would see all these audios that are going viral that are being monetized by the platform, because you're taking that audio, you're adding it to whatever ad, and then you're running ads with it, and this is technically monetizing an audio that you don't have access for, that you don't have the copyright for, right? So now also this is getting a bit stricter now, and I think this is going to open up lots of new opportunities as well in terms of music production and specifically audio production for TikTok videos.
So I know Facebook is dominated in the ad space, and I know YouTube is really tracking as well. Facebook and Google, they've gotten some red heat for knowing all that data, and obviously privacy concerns. TikTok is owned by a company outside of the United States, so they run at a different level. So my question is, what are you seeing in regards to the ad platform? Is it more powerful than what Facebook and YouTube have? And, how targeted can you get in regards to like the strategy?
I think that they don't have enough years yet so that they can be as detailed as Facebook and Instagram was, but I think they're definitely on the way to do it. And I think they're just cool, like they're just going to catch up quicker, I think, right now. Obviously they have access to lots of technology. They have access also to all the experiences that have happened to Facebook and Instagram before. More powerful, I don't know, but I think it's catching up to a faster rate now, right? And I mean, you're always going to see these platforms go up and go down. You've seen it from MySpace, then back from those days. So I don't think it's going to eliminate Facebook and Instagram right now, but I think it's going to be competing majorly with it.
So if you could walk me through maybe like one of your clients' successes that like it's not an industry that is like very common, and maybe just like let's talk about beauty, because I know that is your bread and butter. So let's walk me through like maybe a product that it's so bizarre, but hey, found a strategy, we deployed it, maybe working with ads or influencers. Just walk me through that, and obviously the successes behind TikTok and leveraging it.
Yeah. So I can mention, for example, one of our brands, they have this shower head that actually creates a filtration system within the shower head. So it filters out all the nasty stuff that comes out of water, all these impurities that people don't know about, and that can actually cause dry skin, it can cause eczema, and it can cause hair to dry off, right? So generally, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, we wouldn't want to show really disgusting things in the beginning, Sure, you can start with the strong hook, whatever, but actually Facebook would like, how do you say it? They would kind of negatively look at an emotion that is too negative or too shocking or it makes you too emotional, right? But right now what we're seeing success with is actually showing, for example, for that shower head, in the first like 2-3 seconds we show the water cloth and how disgusting it is, right? That brings a very shocking element for the person. They see how much like nasty stuff is coming out of the shower head, and this is what attracts their attention and get them to watch more of the video and learn more about the brand. So this is something that could have been frowned upon on the Facebook platform, I would say, but with TikTok, it's gaining much traction.
So what kind of result were you able to create with that? What did that look like?
I mean, in terms of results, because we're not the ones doing the media buying ourselves, we just see like their viewed rates, right? We don't get access to all their sales on the back end, but you just see basically how many people are resharing the content, the comments on it, like, oh my God, I didn't know that this could happen. That explains the eczema that I've been getting. I had no idea. I just moved into a new apartment and then my hair started falling off. This could explain it. I'm gonna go and try it out. So you get this kind of engagement, and it's fun and it's nice to see, and it gives also a bit of room for the brand to get in touch with their community, talk to them, do a bit of back and forth, like try us out, give us more of your feedback, what have you noticed? So it just offers an opportunity to also be in touch with part of your community.
Awesome. I really appreciate you sharing that, because what I'm just so intrigued with is like, I consult for a lot of, business coaches, consultant service providers, and that may be in the retail industry. And we're all trying to figure out exactly how to, and I'm not an expert at all in TikTok. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, because you're really leveraging it at a higher level. And one of the things is like, I'm trying to always identify, okay, there has to be a strategy, even in industries that like coaches, consultants. And one of the things that I want to share with you is like, kind of, walk me through this a little bit. So I know just recently, obviously you have, during this take, you have a lot of Johnny Depp and his wife going through the divorce. I noticed on TikTok that Johnny Depp run in the Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as that became very big, right? And organic reach and so forth. It was like trending is what you call it.
Yeah.
So, however, though, What I'm noticing though is if you're like a professional service provider of some sort, beauty, obviously you're not going to jump on that trend.
Yeah.
However, though, is there a different way of looking at that? Maybe you do want to jump on it, but it's just in a context of your product and service, or just, because obviously it comes with a lot of creativity and you're in that industry. So just help me walk through that and understand, okay, hey, here's this trend. It's not relative to my product. How do I
Yeah.
still jump on it and then still keep aligned with my brand, if you will?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about TikTok, right? So some of the top performing content that I've seen does not necessarily look like it's on brand, right? So for sure, there is such a thing as branded UGC, which is really like shooting content with people who look like they're real, just relatable people just like me and you, and they're not necessarily influencers or celebrities, right? But then you see the content with specific fonts and the specific colors that match the branding guideline, and this is what we call branded UGC. But on TikTok, it's actually completely different, because you really don't have to follow these strict guidelines. You don't have to. And this is what I guess some people get confused about. I've had lots of luxury brands that I work with who have told me, oh no, we don't want to test on TikTok because it doesn't really fall in line with our luxury brands, Sure, it doesn't fall in line with, and neither does it fall in line with Chanel's luxury brand or Dior or Balenciaga, or but you need to leverage this platform, and you need to understand that if your content stands out, it's just not going to perform. So you're spending this money on creating branded content, but it's not going to perform as well as just organic looking content. So this is why these brands need to actually be following these trends. They need to see what people are doing and just do it as well. Like we said, the challenges, the things that go viral, some the voiceovers that they repeat. And yeah, and they don't follow the brand guidelines. They're not in line with the brand image, but this is the kind of content that performs well, and this is what they need to test out. And I don't think there's major damage like there used to be. Like, I mean, besides, we don't want to get into that, but like cancel culture, etc. But jumping on trends, I don't think that would affect you in any sort of way like that.
Okay, and I appreciate you sharing that, because see, I think it's just a different way to look at it, because that's what I'm realizing is a lot of people, well, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, and obviously I'm not going to run around, in like Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow kind of thing, when it has no relation at all. And I'm just giving that as an example because obviously that's trending right now. But obviously you see that consistently. And so what you're basically saying is like, hey, yes, you want to jump on that trend, and then you just kind of are, kind of have some creative liberty a little bit to be able to say, okay, how can I work this and integrate this into what we have? Because TikTok is so tremendously different than obviously watching an ad on YouTube. You're not going to use professional models. You're going to just use an average individual, whatever. So I appreciate you sharing it. So we're talking a lot about the YouTube. So if you could maybe explain a situation where you found a trend, and you're in the beauty industry, found a trend that has nothing to do with the beauty industry at all. Okay. Give us an example of how you're able to create a successful marketing campaign that leverage what was trending, whether it's that voiceover, the audio, the video, or a challenge, and then be able to integrate it with the brand itself.
I mean, that is a bit more specific, but for example, like the POV, like, have you seen those POV videos, like point of view, and then you talk about yourself in the present tense? For example, this kind of content, like for Mother's Day, for example, we had, instead of just shooting content with, like the general stuff that you see, daughter going to give her mommy a gift, and the hugs and just emotional shots, for example, we just shot some content taking on trends like point of view, for example. So we started the video, and it was a skincare brand, started the video as the person is sitting in her car, and point of view driving to surprise my mom for Mother's Day. So we take on trends like this, for example, and then it's not the typical video ad, because these are running as actual sponsored ads, right? And you would never imagine that an ad would start with like, this is your point of view, I'm going to visit. But this is the kind of content that, as I said, just blends in so nicely with the platform itself, and then just gets people more engaged.
I think that's a brilliant idea, honestly, and it's just you really have to have a lot of creativity, and that's obviously why, Tracy, you're an expert in this, and not myself. I just think that's awesome. So now I'm a big believer in like direct response, which is
Yeah,
basically, hey, when I spend $1, I want to get, X amount of dollars back from ads, right?
yeah.
Is that kind of where this ad platform is at right now when you run an ad from like that? Or is it more of like, is it just driving traffic and then facilitate it? I do know that obviously, like you mentioned, you don't have access to the back end. You don't have
Yeah.
access to those results in your clients. You just see the view rate and so forth. But it's like, is it more this is it more brand and building the brand? And like, I guess the strategy is slightly different. Like I know YouTube, for example, and just give you a little context, YouTube, if you're doing organic, naturally what's going to happen is you run really long-term keywords. And I know you have to be pushing out content for like 6 months before you really get that massive explosion of subscribers and fulfillment. So it's a long-term strategy. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm asking in regards to TikTok. Is it more of, hey, I'm building a brand, then people will most likely go, Google search me, and then that's how I facilitate it. You know what
I
I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think what TikTok is really doing right now is also optimizing their interface to facilitate people to purchase things on the platform itself, right? So from like the way that the algorithm works, just the way that you engage with the content and then you get relevant content go in your for you page, and then you discover these new brands just that are start showing up on your feed itself, right? And then you can just go and then get redirected to the checkout page and then check out automatically. So I think it's facilitating also the user experience to purchase through the platform, trying to not redirect you to too many platforms afterwards. And that way, you can help improve your conversion rates and for sure decrease your drop-offs along the way. So I think that's what TikTok is focusing on right now. And like we said, they're doing it in such a subtle way as well. You're just discovering these brands on your For You page as if you're like, while you're discovering other, content creators or influencers that you like, and you don't even notice that this is branded content by a brand, but it just shows up there. And yeah, if the content is good and, it's more of an impulsive purchase, that's how you get a client for cheaper.
So a lot of this is really relevant on and determined upon the trends. And so I know trends just jump and go and move and go and everything like that.
Always.
Could
Yeah.
you give me some tips and tricks to be able to produce content at a really relatively quickly speed, and then as well as like pivoting toward like obviously trends and so forth? Because I do know a lot of people always want to repurpose content, right? That's what Gary Vee talks about. And
For
then also
sure.
part two question is, how often should they be posting? I've heard 3-4 times a day, but I do know that each piece of content takes a lot of time and energy and thought process behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in terms of how much you should be posting, the answer is as simple as much as you can, right? The only way where you're really going to be able to scale your pages are by posting at different times, posting with different angles, using different hooks, shooting with different ways, and then looking at all of this data. And this is when you know what's performing well, what time is performing well, which kind of content creators perform better for you, what angles, what hooks. And from there, you can start pumping out content that is relevant and scheduling them to post on, the specific times that perform better for you. How we specifically do it as an agency, because we obviously work with so many different clients from so many different industries. So the way that we do it is, and I don't know, I guess people can use it in their own ways, for their own brands. But we just definitely need to start out with a creative brief. That is the one single most important thing. And this is something that brands can do directly on the TikTok creator marketplace, like I mentioned before. So, fill out information about the brand. What are the products that we're looking to push? What are the countries that we're looking to target? Who is your target audience? Let's say we're working with females from the ages of 25 to 35 with an interest in this, and that, specific guidelines, angles, or, things that maybe for the brand have performed well in the past. Let's say the shower head client that I was mentioning, we mentioned eczema, we mentioned dry skin, we mentioned a loss of hair. These have generally worked well for them. So, you'd want to use them again. And then what we do is, Sorry, just lost my train of thought there. So we have a creative brief, we fill it out, and then we start looking, personally, we start looking at the creators that are in our platform that match this criteria that we're looking for. So we send them the brief and everything, and then we go around and we start doing our own research. So like I mentioned, also we start going to like the top performing content page that they have on TikTok itself, and there's many other kind of tools that you can look for and that you can subscribe for that gives you access to this kind of insights, right? So we go and we do all of this research and we look at what's working out for this industry, what is working out for this brand's competitors. So we take out like the concepts that are working, the concepts that are going viral, and specific things to these niche. And then we go, like I said, we go look for these communities on TikTok. Like I mentioned, like the beauty talk, there's also food talk, there's TikTok made me buy this. There's so many communities on TikTok. So we enter these communities like we are one of these people, and then we start engaging with this kind of content and getting our algorithm even subjected to it so that we get retargeted with this kind of content as well. And then we learn as we go. I mean, we're different people on our team and we all handle different accounts. So we become actual TikTok users, and this is how we get really like into it. So from there, we start pumping out content on the weeklies. We take out all these trends. We have, of course, our own internal system to kind of keep track of how many videos and deliverables we need to submit. And we say, okay, this week we're going to try out one challenge. We're going to try one, TikTok made me buy this. One, we're going to do 5 reasons why. One, we're going to do a duet. So this is how we kind of build it out. We take out the concepts that we think are working for other people. It inspires us to create new concepts ourselves that we want to test out. And then we start matching the content creator with the video that we want, give them all these options to look at. Sometimes they're really just so creative by themselves. They don't want us to give them any creative feedback. And when they're this confident, we just let them take, the creative lead themselves. And like I said, the more natural it is, the more relatable the content is, and the better performing it will be. So like they say, make TikToks and not ads, because that's actually what performs well for the platform.
It's interesting because I really appreciate that insight on TikTok, because I see that same thing with like YouTube, for example, YouTube ads and so forth. The less professional it is and the more organic it is, the better click-through rate and stuff like that, and the funnel process. Now, I do find it very interesting what you're saying. So, because what I always found interesting is like, unlike YouTube and Facebook, where like YouTube, for example, you could create like a long tail keyword video, you can run that ad or whatever. This is so dependent upon the trends, and trends change weekly, daily basis. So it's like, how do you, as like a consultant for these larger companies, as well as an ads agency, how are you able to help these companies create and produce very quickly on the turn? Do you produce it for them? Do you just get some content that they give you and say, okay, you know what, we're going to turn it and we're going to burn it, depending upon the trends and so forth? That's basically what you just said, correct? Just want to make sure.
Yeah. So what makes us different from others is that we're not a self-serve platform. The self-serve platforms, they already exist. There's plenty of platforms that already exist out there that people can go for. Specifically, how we work is we work like your UGC concierge. So we kind of handle everything from A to Z. And with that, you don't get as much back and forth like other platforms, right? Because you can go in there and you can't cast creators yourself. Why? Because if I'm going to find the right creators, send them for the brand to approve, wait for the brand to approve them, then communicate back with the content creator, send them the brief. It's just so much back and forth that by the time that this entirely happens, we would have missed the boat on that trend, right? So specifically, the way we work is essentially, we work on a trial basis with the brand so that they try out our services and see if they like them. Once they like them, we obviously have back and forth with our clients to understand exactly what they're looking for, some specific things that we can or can't do. And from there, they kind of just trust that we're going to match them with the right content creator. We do the back and forth with the content creators ourselves. We do the editing on the TikTok app itself as well, because we've noticed that using apps like InShot or any other editing apps to make content is actually limiting the reach on TikTok, which is actually crazy, right? So we have to go in the brand's TikTok page, edit the content on their TikToks, and then publish it from there. And this is what helps increase their reach as well. So yeah, we handle everything from A to Z. And no, the brands don't, they're not, obviously when we're writing the creative brief, this is where we get all the information, but then we kind of write our own angles, we write our own scripts, and then like I said, we let the content creators really take lead for most of the time. They have something that they can look at as a reference to just help them, guide them through whatever content we want them to create, but really we really let them do their own creative direction because it's just more natural.
I love that. I think because I was really curious on it, because obviously everything is trending, and I know the long term, when you work with the CEO, when you work with larger brands, when you even work with small businesses, it just takes forever for the communication sometimes to approve it. So they really, you have the full access and full authority on the front end to basically turn and burn, create content, and obviously jump on these trends pretty quickly with kind of the brand. I think that's awesome. Tracy, I just appreciate the immense value that you brought today. Just talk about the power of TikTok, where it's going. There's obviously a lot of trendy, social media platforms that come and go, and Parler and stuff like that. And this one is obviously staying around for a long time. And obviously you're seeing it get more professional and more competitive with the larger Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I just think it's really, really awesome to see and have someone like yourself being professional and talking about this, definitely for larger brands and understanding the importance of this. Now, Tracy, how can our audience reach out to you, be part of you, and part of your service?
Yes. So people can just go on our website. It's www.ugc-shop.com. They can go in there. We offer different kinds of content types. It's so easy. We also have created, being an e-commerce expert myself, I created the system like an e-commerce business, so that you can go in there, select the content type that you want, you add to cart, you fill out the creative brief, and that's when we get the order on our back end. We don't accept all the orders that we get because it really depends on the industry, the niche, and of course if we have content creators that match the project that you're looking for. So we manually approve all the projects that we get, and then it goes in our back end, and this is where we do a quick follow-up with the brand to get a bit more information, as well as any follow-up questions or like brand guidelines or no-nos. And then afterwards, it's as simple as ship out the products directly to the content creators, as well as our studio in Montreal, Canada. And they get back the content between 7 to 10 business days. Not much back and forth. In the meantime, there's no, we don't take up too much time. It's super streamlined for efficiency and productivity. And it's for us to be able to, do a quick turnaround with the videos and be able to catch up to everything that's going on out there.
That's awesome. And guys, those links will be in the description below. So you can, just click on that. Make sure you go out there and take action in regards to this. You do not want to, miss this opportunity, leveraging the TikTok space and what that can do for your business, your brand, and just kind of position yourself as the authority and really scaling your business. Tracy, is there any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience before we let you go?
No, I just really want to encourage people to try out the platform, even if you can't handle some of the content, because I know I was one of these people too. I'm like, oh my God, this is giving me anxiety. So many jumping people. But I swear there's so much value in it. There's so many opportunities to monetize on this platform, whether you're a content creator, whether you're a brand, an advertiser, a service provider. Just go in there. Like I said, go look for the communities in which you want to participate, see what's out there, and then find ways to leverage it and, monetize it.
Awesome, guys. That is Tracy with ugc.shop. Guys, thank you so much again, Tracy, for just being part of our community and sharing that incredible knowledge. That is Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast. Guys, until next time, remember, be uncommon if you can.
Yo, this is Christian D. Evans, Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast. We thank you so much for listening to this amazing episode. If you feel and you know that this was valuable to you, please show some love to our amazing guest by liking this, by commenting on this, by making sure that you do a nice 5-star review and just show some love to our guest. That'd be really awesome. Also, make sure you share this with a friend, a family, a colleague, someone that you believe would bring value to their life right now. And guys, we just want to say thank you again for just being part of our community. If you want to have more resources, don't be afraid. Go to christiandevans.com. You can actually schedule a phone call with me, or you can send me an email at christian.evans@beUncommonIfYouCan.com. That's christian.evans@beUncommonIfYouCan.com. Always love to hear some feedback and let me know what is the number 1 or 2 things that you are struggling in your business and your life, and we'll make sure we have those conversations. Guys, that is Journey with Christian D. Evans podcast, and until next time, remember, be uncommon if you can. Cheers.